on and talk about a book that helped me with manifestation. And a lot of people have heard of this book. And I think a lot of people have read this book. But I don't think a lot of people understand this book. I don't think a lot of people really get this book. And this book helped me a lot on my journey to manifestation, because it helped me around managing my real self and being authentic. And authenticity is the basis. Authenticity of self is the basis for your manifestations. You have to truly know who you are, what you want, desire, and need in order to ask the universe for those things that correlate with who you are. And so the book is, can you see that? The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. The 4 Agreements. And this book is recommended so many times. And I think it took me about 3 times to read it to get what was going on in the book. Hey Mika, thank you for joining us. Hey Pat, thank you for joining us. Hey Flow Up, thank you for joining us. And the reason why I chose this book is because it really did impact how I began to deal with manifestation from a personal space and how I saw myself. So, the first agreement, what, Aziza?
Hey, Marley ate all the fruit snacks.
Okay, just get some more. Fruit snacks. That's the point of contention. The 4 agreements, right? So, we know them as be impeccable with your word. Make sure I know the 4 agreements while I'm going through this. Yeah, the first agreement is be impeccable with your word, I believe. Make sure. Pull it up. Dun, dun, dun. And how many of y'all follow Don Miguel Ruiz? Like, not on Instagram, but like his work. Do you follow his work? Do any of you follow his work? Have you read this book? Have you read the 4 agreements? Yes, someone said, yes, I love that book. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. I'm going to read a little bit of the first chapter just to see if it resonates. Oh, thank you for the compliments. The first agreement is the most important one and also the most difficult one to honor. It is so important that with just this first agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence I call heaven on earth. This first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. That's just right there in the first paragraph. When you think of being impeccable with your word, what does that mean? What does that bring up for you? What does impeccable mean? Impeccable is, for me, it's like you always follow through on everything you say. You are committed to what you say. I'm sorry, I switched it. No. You are committed to what you say. You're committed to what you do. Ooh, clean. Ooh, yes, clean. Right. There's no integrity. Right. There's no, you and your word are the same. You and your word are the same person. When somebody think of what you say, they are clear about who you are. There's no waviness. There's no, dissension, no indecision, no weirdness around you. You know how you think of people, someone comes to your mind, and when they come to your mind, you get a little feeling like, but you don't really express, you like somebody say somebody's name and you be like, Usually for me, when that happens, that's because that person to me doesn't live in integrity. that they're not impeccable with their word. Something about their behavior, something about how they shown up in my space has taught me that who they say they are and who they really are is skizzy. It's swazy. It doesn't match up. And that's what being impeccable with your word means to me. It means when someone talks about your character that knows you, that everyone who doesn't know you, when you show up in the room, you match exactly what that is. You show up. Even they don't even have to know you. Somebody could talk about you and say, such and such is committed, she's dedicated, she's a great mother, she does this, da da da. And they could see you out in the street and have just seen your face and say, oh, I know you. You're such and such and such. Because they're so sure of who you are, because who you've been everywhere you go is consistent. You don't waver. How you show up is a part of you. It's in the fabric of who you are. It's in the fabric of who people know you to be. They can't separate anything. Like, it's just what it is. To me, that's what being impeccable is. And I know for me, when I first came upon this book, The 4 Agreements, and I read that, I was like, oh, I'm impeccable with my word. No, I was not. I was not impeccable with my word. I thought I was impeccable with my word, but my word was swazy. My word was iffy. My word was contingent upon how I felt. My word was contingent upon how other people made me feel. My word was contingent upon who showed up in the room. And who I was trying to impress, who I was trying to, what I was trying to get to next. That's how my word was. And once I realized that my word was not impeccable, that I had to work on making who I showed up as and what I said I was align, that changed everything. It changed how I viewed manifestation. It changed how I reached out to the universe. It changed how I prayed. It changed how I meditated. It changed how I even came to work, how I came to my children, how I was a mother, how I was a friend, how it changed everything in me, because my integrity changed. Who I said I was going to be changed. My alignment with myself changed. So now, if you ask anybody about me, you can ask 5 people. It's consistent. Arnita is this. Zoha is this. Those are my 2 names. And I answer to both. Zoha is this. Arnita is this. Depending on who the person is, they know me. And you can't get a beat around that. That is who I am. I'm not saying I don't change. I'm not saying I don't grow. I'm not saying I don't advance. But I'm saying the base of me, who people know me to be, it's the same. It's how I show up in the world. I'm consistent. I'm committed. Clear, direct, concise. I would even venture to... Okay, let me see. What someone say? What is the difference in how you feel now around your character and who you used to be? Oh, my God. I feel so sorry for everyone who interacted with the old me and don't get to interact with the me that I am, the me that I grew into be once I became impeccable with my word. Because I was a bitch. Like, I was so hurt and so angry. I had so many walls up. I had so many distances. Like, nobody knew me. Nobody knew me. And I was so volatile. Like, you know what I mean? You never knew. And I know this because I've had feedback. I don't know why I keep doing that. I've had feedback, and I know this because I've seen it. I see it in other people. When I meet my old self, I be like, ooh, bitch, that was you. And I'm not attracted to my old self. I'm not attracted to her at all. Like, I do my best to be kind to her. And be considerate and compassionate of her and where she is. But I'm not attracted to her. You know, I'm like, ooh, sure, you know, that was so me. I used to do that all the time. Let's say, what will you tell the you then based on what you know now? I wouldn't tell me shit because I couldn't hear nothing. I couldn't hear. I was so right. My ego was so huge, and my ego was a victim ego, a victim based ego. My ego was they always fucking with me. Somebody's always trying to hurt me. Somebody's always trying to do something to me. I gotta defend myself. I gotta fight for everything. Always ready. That like it was, and trust me, like, she is good for some stuff, right? So if I gotta go some places where I'm not quite sure, the energy a little off, she's good. She's good for that. Her heckles are up. Her hair on her neck is up. She's ready. Like, and that's the thing. Like, you don't dismiss those parts of yourself. You integrate them. You use them in a space where they're useful. Like, because it's necessary. You have all those things because they help you survive to a certain degree. But is survival your intention? Is survival your greatest possibility? That's what I had to really come to. Is this my greatest possibility? Being defensive everywhere I go, worrying about somebody trying to harm me everywhere I go, always looking for the opposition everywhere I go. Is that the greatest possibility? And I had to really ask, what was my greatest possibility? What is my greatest possibility? How do I get to be the greatest version of myself? How do I get to show up in a way that is vulnerable and still aware? Because the problem is that I was vulnerable and unaware. Why? Because I wanted to have that victim story. I was committed to my victim story. I was committed to motherfuckers doing me wrong. I was committed to people trying to hurt me. I was committed to somebody trying to get my shit. Committed to fighting. Right? So I had to figure out what my new commitment was. What I was going to align myself with. Who is Zoha? What does she need? What does she want? What does she desire truly? And how do you get those things? How do you get those things being defensive? Do you get those things being angry? Do you get those things being hurt? Do you get those things being mad? You might get close to those things, honestly. Got close to a lot of it. But it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I always had some shit with it because I had some shit with me. You know? So, manifestation, again, comes from the heart of the situation. It comes from your true intention. And if your true intention is defensiveness, your true intention is to fight, that's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to manifest. Your true intention is to be understood and to be loved and to be heard. That's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to manifest. So I had to really delve into that first agreement, which is being impeccable with my word. And that's where it took me. It took me to a place of what I like to call radical authenticity. Now, it's not for the weak. And I don't have many people around me who can handle that, because that was the best place for me to go, is to be radically honest. Because I had lied so much. I had hid so much of myself. I had kept so much of myself in, trying not to get hurt. So the best thing for me to do was to flip it. How can I just show up 100% all the time and be committed? So that means that I have to not be worried about what it looked like. Not be boggled down in caring about what people perceive me to be, and know Like, be completely clear and know who I am. And that doesn't mean that I don't get feedback, that people can't tell me this is how it showed up for me. Because that could be very well true. My radical honesty could be bitchy. My radical honesty could be defensive. My radical honesty could be nasty. But I have to check my intention. If my intention was loving, then I have to figure out how to say what I'm trying to say honestly in a compassionate way. So that was a journey. Like, okay, first it was like radically honest. I'm just going to say off the cuff what I need to say so I don't feel put upon. And then it developed into a skill where I could I could do be who I am authentically and have compassion for others. And my compassion grows daily because I'm compassionate towards myself. Learning how to be compassionate towards yourself is a huge part of being impeccable with your word. The being compassionate towards yourself means being honest about your limitations, being honest about what you have to offer, who you are in the space. That's really deep compassion for self, and it's deep compassion for other people. And a lot of people don't think of that as being compassionate because they think that being compassionate is stretching yourself beyond your limitations. And to me, for me, that is not compassion. That is being dishonest. It's not saying that I don't stretch myself, but if I'm going to stretch myself and it's going to harm me or put me in a position where I feel victimized, I don't do it because it's dishonest. That's not how I want to feel. So I don't do that. And those who can do. And I implore people who can't do that to do it. But some people cannot do that. And I'm one of those people. So at this point, one day I will be hopefully more stretchy than I am. Because that's the goal. The goal is to go as deep as possible, because if you're manifesting, then everything has to be possible, right? On some level, everything that is available to you has to be possible. That's my belief, that manifestation is a tool that you use to tap into what is available for you. Like, everything that is good for you is for you and it is available to you, but everything is not for everybody. That's why I don't look at over here, I don't look over there, and I don't compare my life to other people's lives, because I don't know what those people's contract is with God, with their ancestors, with the universe, with all the deities or whoever they believe in. I know what my contract is, and I still work to know what my contract is daily, and that is what I tap into, what's for me. I can't be concerned about what everybody else has going on, because again, that's taken away from me. It's taken away. It's not being authentic. Yes, I don't know, Abby. That's right. I am, a lot of people, there's a lot of memes and a lot of videos go around like run your race. I'm really a run my race kind of girl. Like, blinders on. I'm running my race. I don't care if I finish 8th. That's what's in store for me. Then that's what's in store for me. That's good enough. It's the best. I'm okay with that. And that's just a number. Like, somebody would probably kill to finish 8th. That's finishing in 200. That's also not my business. But you understand, like, we really get to get better about aligning ourselves with ourselves and aligning ourselves with our true heart's desire. Our true heart's desire, not our desires based on what other people are doing, saying, or being. Perceptions. Those are all perceptions. I have no idea what anybody else is doing, how they get to where they get, and whatever. Even if they're telling me, I still don't know if that's true, because I'm not them. So I cannot take that on, right? You can try things, I say, especially with like business. You try things, see if certain models work out for you, XYZ. One model works for one period of time, flip it. Another model works for another period of time. But personalities, your own destiny, your actual ashe, I think that's just yours. I think your soul has its own belongings. That's the whole point of this. It's like we're here for this whole I quest. And when we're done questing in the I and the ego, then we done. We're not here no more. We don't have nothing else to do. That's just my thoughts. All right. So the second agreement, and I'm going to do this one, and then this is it, because this is going to turn into too long. This one was really hard for me. I'll see that. It says, don't take anything personally. As I said, right? Learning how to be impeccable with my word was huge because it helped me align with my authentic self. But my old self had a lot of victim conversations. My self that was living inauthentically had a lot of victim conversations. And so don't take anything personally. That coming number 2 was like, what? Don't take anything personally? Okay. So you really think you're not taking shit personally, but you are, right? You really think that. I'm going to read the first paragraph that it says. It says, the next 3 agreements are really born from the first agreement. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Using an earlier example, if I see you on the street and I say, hey, you are so stupid, without knowing you, it's not about you. It's about me. If you take it personally, then perhaps you believe you are stupid. Maybe you think to yourself, how does he know? Is he clairvoyant? Or can't everybody see how stupid I am? Yes, not taking things personally can be a stretch. Especially the deeper the love conversation is. I found the closer the relationship, for me, people who are peripheral people, I really don't. I have no cares. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like people on the street, it's like, okay, girl. And I really don't feel any kind of way. It's like wax on, wax off. But the closer you get to my heart, and the only people I really feel like I don't really take anything personally from are my children. Like they have such a huge past in this life. They have no idea how huge a past they have with me. Like, because of my childhood and being raised in a super abusive and neglectful home, I am so easy with my kids. I really have almost no expectations of them other than they be good human beings. Period. And prayerfully that'll rub off because I'm learning how to be a good human being. But the deeper the friendship, the deeper the love relationship, the I found the more I took things personally. It felt like it used to feel like people were stabbing me with their words, with their actions, with their thoughts. And it took me a long time to become detached because I had a huge codependency issue. Because again, I grew up in a abusive and neglectful home. So of course, as anyone after that who showed me love, I was going to attach myself to them because I was never taught how to manage my own emotions, how to take care of myself in certain kinds of way. So I expected my partner or my friends to do that or to know how to do that, like if they were going to be in a relationship with me. And it took me a long time to understand that wasn't the way it was. It took me a long time in a divorce. And lots of therapy and some pseudo life changing classes. and lots of books. So not taking things personally really helps me manifest from a space of understanding that nothing, like he said, nothing has to do with me, but what I choose has to do with me. Not, I am only a part in alignment with the things I choose to be in alignment with. And while I think everything is a part of us, like, everything, like the trees, the bees, the person down the street, we're all one big cosmos. I do believe that. I do believe also, though, that nothing is really, I have come to the belief as I've grown, that nothing, everything is here in concert with your highest intention for yourself. Everything that is around you, every person, everything is here to help you flourish. Come here. Everything is here to help you flourish. Hey, guys. Yeah, this is about to get cut. Gotta go take care of my kids. But everything is here to help you flourish, to take care of your highest self, like to get to your highest intention of yourself, right? So if you are going to manifest what you want for your life, you have to tune into that part of yourself that wants the best for yourself. And so then you tend to attract people who are like that, right? But when you are not living in that vibration, you are attracting people who are not like that. So it's easy to think that from a victim space that people are trying to harm you, right? So that's how you get caught up in that. But once you change your belief around who you are by, again, being impeccable with your word and moving in a way that's truly authentic to who you are, then you begin to understand that you deserve a life full of great things, because that's the life you want. Unless you want a life that's not like that, that's the life I want. I want a life that's full of love and joy and wonderful things. That does not necessarily mean material things. That does not necessarily mean a lot, tons of money or whatever. But I'll take it. I'll take being able to take care of my kids and make sure that their kids are taken care of. I don't want to be a billionaire or nothing like that, but I want my family to be sustainable, to be sustained, you know what I mean? And us not to be struggling, because I came from a background of very poor family, a very poor, my family, my kids are one generation removed from the projects. One. So that means that everybody in my family before that was literally one generation removed from what do you call that? Sharecropping, which is crazy, right? That is a poverty conversation that my family held on to for a long time until I was born. And shifting that conversation that we deserve to have a good house to live in, we deserve to have clothes, we deserve to have shoes, we deserve to eat every day. Those were not things I knew as a kid. Those were not things that were consistent. So being able to provide that for my children is a huge deal. It's a big deal. And they deserve it. Like, everyone deserves that. I believe that everyone deserves to be taken care of and not to have to worry about how they're going to eat, where they're going to live, where they're going to sleep. All of that. I think those are unnecessary worries. And once you align with your highest and greatest good and be as authentic as you can be and use your word impeccably, and then learn to hone your victim conversations in a way that you are not letting them lead your life, so that you don't think that everything is personal. You don't take everything personal, like the second agreement says. You start to manifest a different kind of way of living. And that's how those things tie into manifestation for me. If you have any questions, this will be the time. Any thoughts? Because I'm going to take those. And then I'm going to hop off here and go feed these kids. Because they're calling me. But I hope all of this made sense. Someone said, well said, pay controls the punchline. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me for this. I hope it resonates. I plan on doing more stuff like this with Ananda and without Ananda if she's not available, and hopefully she'll do some stuff. She'll take it over when I'm not available. But just to keep these talks going, because I feel like a lot of us think that this is hard when it's really just that we are not connected to who we are. Yes, babe. What's up?
Where's my notebook and my pencil case? Someone got it.
Did you have it yesterday?
Yeah.
Look on the table in the living room.
It was on the table.
Well, look in the chair. Look in the chair. Somebody might have put it in the chair. Okay, I have the trouble with thinking I have enemies, although. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to act like it's not people in the world who don't like us. And we can call those enemies. It's people in the world who don't like us, right? But that shouldn't be your... I know I'm an architect. How can I say it? Consistent, my strengths, and know-how. All right, so there's always going to be people who don't like you. But that's shift your focus. There's way more people who love you. Way more people who like you. Shift your focus to those people. Those are the people you focus on if you want to focus outside of yourself. Those are the people you engage with. Those are the people you... Come on, Miles. You interface with. And that's it. You really can't do nothing about people liking you or not liking you, or them the energetically being around. But you can manage who you let in your head, who you let in your heart, who you let in your mind, and who you let have space around you by not entertaining it on any level. And so for me, when I think about people who don't like, I don't think about people who don't like me. I don't talk about them. I don't mention them. I don't go to their page. I don't go around people who like them. I'm not friends with people who are friends with them. We're not friends. They're not my friend. They have no access to me. I'm not accessible. That's the best way I can answer that, is be inaccessible to those people in every way possible, because they don't deserve to have dominion in your mind, in your space, on your Facebook, your Instagram, anywhere. And if somebody around you is committed to bringing that person into your space, that person gets to leave too. Period. And it's not saying that you can't be for them and be for me. Sure you can. But I don't have to hear it. You be for them and be for me on your time. Just be for me. Be for me without me knowing. I'm okay with that. And I know that sounds very finite, because it is. If you know somebody is actively trying to harm me, and this is kind of personal, because somebody just called me yesterday with somebody that I can't avoid called me yesterday and told me about somebody who I know is actively trying to harm me and dislikes me, and told me about their whereabouts and comings and goings. And I was just like, okay, good for you, good for them. Please do not mention this person to me anymore. We have nothing to talk about. And it's not about being mean. It's not about being angry. It's about being resolute. I have no dealings with that person. Hey, Ayana. Hey, beautiful. So, yeah, I hope that answers all the questions. If you have any more questions, I'm going to be here for another minute or so, and then I'm going to tap out again. Let me just remind you, the book was... The 4 Agreements. It's we went over being impeccable with your word and not taking anything personally. I'll leave this live up for those of you who just joined and want to go through it. And we talked about those 2 agreements and how they help you manifest, how you use them for manifestation. How they helped me with my manifestation practice. So I hope that was concise and useful. If I don't have any more questions, I'm going to hop off, go take care of my 3 bambinos who need me and want lunch and have to go to school online. All right, guys, stay up, wear your mask, social distance, take care of yourselves, eat as healthy as possible, meditate, pray, be kind, be gentle with yourself. Happy manifesting. Later.